Nature is so powerful. Nature is just loving. Whoever is in love with nature, nature has never betrayed them. Neither once did nature look into your color, whether you are white or black, rich or poor, yellow or brown. Neither once did the nature act according to your caste, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or according to your religious beliefs, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Jaina, Jewish. It never. It only has understood one thing: love. Nature never did betray the heart that loved her. Never. But it should be the heart. When you start using your head for profit, then it is karma yoga. It gives you profit, but it gives you that much amount of trouble, diseases too, and you unnecessary worry. Nature is that powerful. The more you love with your heart, you do not have to expect anything more than your expectations, and you cannot even hold it. You have to be like the cricket all-rounder player, Prasanna, fielding, batting, bowling, and his fielding is the best. He catches and passes on. How sad. That first nature gives as long as you can pass it fast to another person, because the second you keep it, it starts stinking. The ball, the cricket ball you catch, and then they immediately pass on. Sad. Yes, that fast, and the referee decides, the judge decides whether it is out or not. But you don't keep it. That is the nature's belief. Nature never did betray the heart that loved her. Not a single man betrayed the women, the women's heart that loved him. Neither did a single lady betrayed her man that loved her. Such is the power. Neither the child, but the continuity is very important. The smallest gap, what Sidhu is telling, the smallest gap, morning, afternoon, evening, I keep on calling my mother and my sister. Now I'm married, I got my wife, I keep calling. They like or they do not like, but I call them. Because I know my physical defect. Even if there is no physical defect, if you have taken a family, it's better to always move together. Not to give a gap, so that your love can become so juicy. In a 45 minutes of small, slow cooking, you can see the juice coming out from your lover, your wife, or your husband. Then it becomes father and mother. Then it moves to the children, and then to your family, and to the joint family and the family tree. Nature never did betray the heart that loved her. Every plant, can you believe, those who are doggy lovers, you can see, you give a small love. The ones you come from far away, how much the dog you will jump and dance in front of you, scream publicly, doesn't look what people are thinking as I'm going to butter and take. Is the same thing available in the house? When you come back home, did you see your children jumping and dancing and coming and holding? That is still available in the villages. I have seen children who are running and holding on to you and so much. But in the city, They don't even lift the head because mobile drags them deeper and deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper to give you more valuable things than what is in front of you. The more it drags deeper and deeper, and you become so fat, and then you go to the doctor. You're so fat, you go to the doctor. You're so fat, you can't move. You have eaten so much, it is up to the throat. If I ask you to put two fingers and vomit it up, you are screaming at me, telling if you had space for two fingers, I'll eat two more bananas. This guy goes to the doctor, and doctor said, my God, you have so much of weakness, so I'll write a tonic so that the tonic gives you strength because your blood is less. You have to eat the best food. He has already eaten all the food in the whole world possible. And the doctor, he listens to the doctor, it carries deeper and deeper. If not the body, the mind takes you away from your house. The body is so fat. In naturopathy, they said, it is not that you are weak. Your weakness is because you're carrying a lot of dirt. Excess fat is dirt. You have to trim down. You have to not, now you cannot eat anymore. You have to fast. If you fast, you will die. Nobody has died by removing the dirt from the house. They only became healthy. And allopathy doctor says, no, don't fast, you will die. No, nobody dies. Naturopathy says, now shed the fat. Don't eat any food at all. Only distilled water. Yes. And then you can see there is no blood. The allopathy doctor says, here you can see fresh energy of blood flowing from many corners. Yes, it is blocked. Yes, water blocked in the bore well, certain points, joints, and it rushes up with full speed. If you just remove the dirt, shed the weight, touches the mind that you have forgotten. Nature never betrayed the heart that loved her. The family never betrayed your heart that loved it. The family, whole family is a powerful organ. Every member of the family is 1,000 men warrior. If they had a heart right in the house, not far away. Life is divided into three terms: that which was, which is, and which will be. That which was is past, present, and the future. The past is the family, the joint family, the experience. Indus Valley civilization was past. Indus Valley civilization crashed because nothing was in written form. That was the past we have understood. So every family, when they sit together, write their poetry, they write their family history, they write even the menu of what they cooked. Like the Japanese mothers, they are given, when the girl is married, a book is handed, a holy book is handed over to the girl by the mother, it seems. And what was that holy book? That book contains 1,000 years history of cooking. What do you do for spring, summer, autumn? What food goes? Let thy food be thy medicine, said the father of allopathy. And Japanese follows it up. The mother is not only the doctor, a lover. And on this one prescription, the past, present, future, that family tree. Yes, Indus Valley civilization crashed because nothing was in written form. Greek civilization flourished, the past flourished, and you can see the present. Greek civilization, present Europe is still very beautifully constructed and growing. You might talk many different things, but our country is shit and dirt everywhere. Every time the leaders are coming and telling our Samskriti is so big, it is a long tradition, but people are suffering. Only 2% of that powerful rich who brings out that kind of a talks only might be enjoying. Life is divided into three terms: that which was, which is, and which will be. Let us learn from the past. Let us learn from the, you don't have to learn anything. If the family is there, it just flows, but you have to be conscious to accept Allow them to pull the string. Don't disconnect the family. Don't disconnect the foundation. Let them pull the string of your kite. Otherwise, you soar up and you forget the foundation, that it is disconnecting slowly. It got disconnected when you are unconscious and you go and fall in somebody else's place and nobody even turn back to look. Let us learn from the past to protect by the present, to protect by the present, and from the present to live better in the future. Present is your family, which you give love and affection and be together without giving a smallest gap. If you understand that, which disease can come inside? How could you go in mass to a political meeting and create another round of coronavirus? Are you mad? Don't you have work in your house? Did you find time to love your people, to stabilize the house, to grow a kitchen garden, a fruits, to try to find out how you can wash your clothes? Even the clothes are given to a third corona person to iron, to wash. What kind of a educated person we have reached? Come out of that. There is still time to come out of that slavery. William Wordsworth, born on 7th April 1717 UK, died on 23rd April 1815 United Kingdom, said life is divided into three terms: that which was, which is, and which will be. Let us learn from the past to protect by the present, and from the present to live better in the future. William Wordsworth continued to say, nature never did betray the heart that loved her. William Wordsworth was an English romantic poet who, with Samuel Taylor Coleridge, helped to launch the Romantic Age in English literature with their joint publication, Lyrical Ballads, 1798. Wordsworth's magnum opus is generally considered to be the prelude, a semi-autobiographical poem of his early years that he revised and expanded a number of times. It was posthumously titled and published by his wife in the year of his death, before which it was generally known as the Poem to Coleridge. Wordsworth was poet laureate from 1843 until his death from pleurisy on 23rd April 1850. This is my 384th small talks.